Hi, welcome to my channel. Today's topic of discussion, circumstances don't matter, and we talk about this a lot. I talk about this a lot with people, and there are varying different degrees of understanding around circumstances don't matter. So I'll just explain it in simple terms. Circumstances do not matter to the universe. I'm going to call it the universe because it's easier for me to pick one way to refer to this to, but it can be whatever you think it is. So to the universe, circumstances don't matter. Doesn't see the past, it doesn't see the future, it only sees the now moment. So how you're feeling in the moment, your feeling state at the moment is all that the universe is bothered about. But it's not bothered at all, it's just there, and that's what it does. It reflects back to you what you're feeling. So circumstances don't matter to it. Circumstances become an issue to us when we think that they matter. So when we assign a value to them, and that's what we do. So on one hand, we are wanting to manifest something, and on the other hand, we have all of these circumstances around it that we think matter. We might say to ourselves, well, they don't matter. Circumstances don't matter, so it's not a problem. But if we personally are assigning a value to them, and by that I mean giving it some focus, giving what happened focus as if it's important, then it becomes an issue. It becomes something that holds us back because our rational mind is telling us it matters, this happens, of course it matters, it might not matter to other people, but it matters to you, and all of that stuff that it says. It might not be saying that, it might be saying to you, well, it doesn't matter. But if you are feeling it and reliving it and giving it attention, then it's mattering to you. You are causing it to be an issue here. You are causing it to get in your way, basically, and to stop you from manifesting what you want. Because on one hand, you know that circumstances don't matter, and you fully are on with that. Maybe you are a bit, and maybe you are completely on with it. But even if you are on board with it, but you're not practicing what you preach, then if you were telling other people, well, they don't matter, circumstances don't matter, you have to then get on board with that and say, well, they don't matter, so I need to stop giving focus and attention to those things that have gone or in the past. You see, the past doesn't exist, neither does the future. Come to that, nothing exists but this moment now. All the past is a memory. It really has no power unless you give it power, unless you call it to mind, you focus on it, you relive it. And even if you're trying to convince yourself that circumstances don't matter, that's brilliant. But then if you go back and focus on those things that you consider to be a circumstance, your situation, if you like, then you are making it matter. So it's not about the universe keeping tabs on you, keeping track of you, and deciding, well, all of this happened in your past, so you can't possibly have this in the future. That has nothing to do with it. All it is your feeling about what happened, but your focus. It's mostly about your focus, to be honest. If you're going to put any focus on it, well, this happened and that happened, and you're going to relive it. Maybe you go about and you tell your friends the story, you go over it with your friends, you discuss it, and they tell you that they're not good enough for you and all of that stuff. It makes us feel better in the moment, doesn't it? Offloading like that. But the problem is, it just exacerbates it. It just goes on and on and on because we're living in that feeling. We're living in that moment. Again, we're reliving it. So first of all, I'd say don't do that. Don't talk about what happened with your friends. Even if there's stuff going on now that's undesirable, don't discuss it. And so that you build momentum around that feeling, around whatever it is that's happened. Try not to do that. And if your friends want to talk to you about it, just say, do you mind if we don't talk about it? Because I'm just trying to, you can say whatever you want. Tell them you're trying to move on or whatever. If it's a person, a lot of this stuff, I start off referring to everything and then it does come back to people, because people is where we get stuck. So, if you are feeling like that and you're building up that momentum, yes, you're having a sugar rush of, you're having that sugar rush, talking to your friends, and you get that high because they make you feel better, and it feels better offloading it, and they say, it's their fault, it's not your fault, all of that stuff. But then you come down and you're left with that vibration, you're left with that feeling which is going over and over and over. You then think about it more because you've spoken about it. So try to not to do that. If you can not do that, then that is awesome. That will really help. And also, when your focus goes to what happened before, pull it away again. Just find any way of doing that. So I work a lot with switch words with people. So you choose the word that you like, that's comforting to you, that one, it distracts you in the moment, but it also, before you use that switch word, you instruct your subconscious, when I say this word, you are going to drop all of that attachment to what happened. You're going to let it go. It's going to drift away. Whatever you want to instruct it that first, and then start using your switch word, because even for this distraction effect, it's really, really great. So what you're looking at doing is getting more in alignment with what you want. And the way that you do that is by not focusing on the undesirable stuff. It's going to be there. It's absolutely going to be there. It will drift in. Just let it drift into your mind. If it's there, just let it be there. Don't try and force it out, but don't engage with it. If you don't engage with it, it will stop bothering you, because it's like anyone. It's like a person, you know, if they're in your life, they want to be in your life, and you don't want them there, and you're avoiding them at all costs, you're not sort of having much conversation with them, you're not giving them any attention, eventually they will get the message and they will leave your life. So it's a bit like that. The less that you engage with these thoughts, the less they will be there, until eventually they're not really there that much at all, and you've got so good at not engaging with them that they aren't an issue. And this is when circumstances aren't an issue, because you're not engaging with it, you're not focusing on it, you're not giving it any attention, you're not putting it in the now moment, you're not bringing it into the now when it's the past. So the universe can't then draw on those feelings because they're not there. So if it doesn't have anything to draw on, it can't give you more of that. So it's going to give you what you desire, because you're more focused on the good stuff. If you find yourself focusing on the good stuff, so visualizing and feeling good, but then going back to what was, then just don't do anything. Don't even do the visuals. Just sort of let it be for a bit. Let it be there. It's all going on. Once you've desired it, you've created it, and it's in the making. Just let the universe bring it to you. You don't have to poke around, and you don't have to visualize. You don't have to do any of that stuff. So if you find that you are then, you know, so even if you're feeling good in the moment and you're having a great visualization, and then you find yourself drawn back to those feelings, they will be quite strong, because they are what actually happened. They are not what you're trying to conjure up. They are what did happen. So they are always going to have more power if you allow them to. But you know, if you can get out of the habit of doing that, awesome. But if you feel that you are being dragged back there and getting stuck on this merry-go-round of feeling good, feeling bad, feeling good, feeling bad, then just stop. As you know, you don't have to do anything. I've told you this before, you do not have to do anything. So if that's what's happening, if you pull away from it completely and just don't focus, don't give any attention to what happened before, like I said, let it be there, but don't engage with it, then it will drift away naturally, and you will find that that manifestation comes to you as it's happening all the time. Like, I speak to a lot of people, obviously, a lot of people all over the world. And so I'm seeing people manifest all of the time. Some people struggle a bit more than others, but eventually people do get there. At least they get signs of it. So you know, and a lot of the time, for me particularly, my clients, a lot of the time it's when they're doing nothing, when I've convinced them not to do anything, to pull back at least, and that's when it happens. Quite a lot this week actually, which is brilliant, because it gives me faith that what I'm teaching is right and it's working. And it also is great for them, because they think, oh yeah, I don't have to work so hard. Awesome. So they get into that not working so hard. So that's all I've got to say on the subject, really. Circumstances do not matter to the universe. It doesn't see the past, it doesn't see the future. It only sees what you give it. It only sees the pictures that you give it and the attention that you give it, because you create that feeling, and it only sees that, the feeling in the moment. So you might find sometimes that you've manifested something, you think, well, how did that happen? But if you look back a few weeks, you'll think, oh, I really felt this a few weeks ago, because there is a bit of a time delay with this stuff. Not always, but in some cases. And you might find that you're manifesting something now that you felt a few weeks ago, but don't worry about that, because you can cancel that out. You can move on and move to the better stuff if it's undesirable, or it might not be, it might be desirable. So no such thing as circumstances to the universe, only to us. So it's when you're contradicting what you want with what you're feeling about the old stuff that happened, the old story. That's all it is. It's the old story, and it's your narrative. It's what you're working with. Nobody else, just you. So if you can drop that, then awesome. Right, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel, then I'd love for you to do that. There's loads of stuff about a specific person on here, but also other things as well, if that's not your thing. But to be honest, it all applies to everything. So even if you are looking at a specific person video and that's not what you're after, not what you're looking to bring into your life, you will still, all of the advice works the same for whatever it is that you're trying to bring into your life that you want to manifest. So I write books, my books are listed below. I also, as you can tell, I offer Zoom coaching. Just pop along to my website and drop me a line if you want me to organise a session with you. You probably wouldn't get anything within the next 2 weeks, because I'm generally always booked up 2 weeks in advance, but you know, after that I might be able to find something for you. Just ask. tell me where you are in the world too. It's really helps me if I know where you are, because then I will look up the time difference and I can give you a better time. Otherwise I might give you a time that's completely no good for you at all, and maybe you work full time, you know. So give me your details. Say, you know, I would really like a coaching session. This is my situation. I work these hours, or I live here, and the time difference is this. And it's easier. It saves us all the to-ing and fro-ing. Then I can come back to you with some proper times and dates that you can work with. And that's it, I think. And my son Harrison Ellis has a Law of Attraction channel, and that will be on the end screen. That will be his profile picture will come up. So if you fancy having a look at his stuff, it's all a specific person. Get back with your ex, tons of it on there. He's really good. He uploads about 4 videos a week, which I definitely cannot do, but more power to him. He's good like that. Has his time schedule and he sticks to that. Anyway, thanks for watching.